5, 4, 3, 2.
In the spirit of respect, authenticity, and reconciliation, the town of Slave Lake honors and acknowledges that we are situated on the traditional lands of Sawridge First Nation within Treaty 8 territory, home to Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit peoples who have occupied these lands since time immemorial. Councillor Gramlich?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
There's a motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Call to question those in favor. And that is carried. Councillor Adams.
Motion to adopt the May 23rd special meeting of council. Minutes.
Motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Call to question those in favor. And that is carried. Councillor Hughes.
I move to accept the meeting minutes from the Committee of the Whole meeting on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 as presented.
Any further discussion? Call to question those in favor. And that is carried. Okay, next up, we will move up to our delegation of the WUI team. If you want to join us in the center, you can grab chairs if you like.
Sure, go ahead, stand in front. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to introduce to you our Wildland Urban Interface team. I'm sure you've heard a lot about them. We tried to do this introduction a few times, but they were pretty much sent to work right away. These are the 4 members that we've chosen. They want to introduce themselves.
My name is Roland Martins. I'm with the WUI team leader.
I'm Zaid Gullian. I'm one of the WUI team members.
Jacob Zazelenchuk. I'm also one of the WUI team members.
And Ayrton Falkar, I'm one of the WUI team firefighters.
Fantastic. Welcome. Officially, you've already been to work. Welcome officially.
Thank you very much.
Alex?
I would just like to point out that the 3 members are all former students of our fire NLC program.
I was just going to say, I recognize a few from the graduation ceremony. So welcome. We're very happy to have you stay here. That's the goal, is to have you stay here
Roland's been a member
for
50
ever.
so
Thank you.
Fantastic. And so how's it been going? Good.
Good.
Really
Busy.
Very busy.
Busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a time for the grant funding to be released right before fire season.
Yeah.
So. And we were deployed here. Where have we been?
they've been Boyle, Redwater, Swan Hills, Martin Beach.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Kind of hit the ground running, haven't stopped. Today was the first day we actually got released. Yeah, straight.
Nice. I was just thinking, for the people listening at home, do you want to just give a brief overview of what the WU team is, just for those who might not know?
So the Wildland Urban Interface Team, otherwise known as WUI, they're a group of specialized members. They're strategically placed throughout the province. There is 7 other teams, and they do structure protection throughout the province of Alberta. So when there's wildfires threatening homes, they'll go to those areas and set up structure protection, and then maintain those systems, as well as after, if a fire impinges the community, then they'll stay to help fight that fire.
Thank you.
Councillor Gramick?
Gonna say, how excited are you for your first day off to come to council? Like, okay, we're gonna go to the lounge and get some rest, and like, no, we gotta go here and introduce ourselves. Is that pretty exciting?
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to see you and appreciate that you managed to find clean uniforms after being deployed for that long. So
Yeah.
good job. Well done. Exceeded our expectations for that, that you're all awake and here. And any other questions from council on that? Well, congratulations, and we're excited to have you. And yeah, we're here for you guys.
Much appreciate this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know. Joking. I mean, we can. It's really awkward to sit behind and like be like, hello. We can stand. One of them. Yeah. come-
Oh, yeah.
Well, otherwise, like one of our faces is gonna be like
For sure.
blocking between people.
Yeah, Claire.
Are the chairs in the way, Joe?
We'll just move the chairs. We
All
can to this.
We're doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
We did it a minute early, because they walked in behind.
All righty. As close together as you can stand, I would say, is Thank you. I'll do one more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Nice to
it.
meet you.
Got a chair over.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yours, I don't know.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Oh, right.
You're not obligated to stay for the land use bylaw document, so. Okay, up next is in our new business is fire hall sanitary service replacement. Kush, floor is yours.
Good evening, Your Worship and Council. The purpose of this report is to seek Council's approval to proceed with replacement of existing sanitary service line at the fire hall due to operational failure. The building where fire hall is located was originally built in 2005 and has been serviced by 1.25-inch sanitary sewer force main. The town took ownership of the lot designated for fire hall use in January 2017. The current service line, which runs approximately 800 feet, is now beyond repairs and maintenance. The line does not meet current town standards, which requires a minimum 2-inch diameter for pump out sewer service to reduce risk of blockage and allow effective cleaning and inspection. The existing line started experiencing issues since early spring this year. Since then, several attempts has been made to inspect the line using CCTV. But due to its length and condition, it has been difficult to pinpoint the location of the blockage. Furthermore, it is unclear whether the issue is caused by a single blockage or multiple ones along the line. A suspected interference point near a fence post was also investigated through daylighting using hydrovac equipment, but no damage or obstruction was identified at that location. Due to the blockage impeding downstream flow, the fire hall's holding tank is unable to discharge properly. And as a result, fire hall has been relying on hydrovac to manually empty the tanks on a regular basis. So they do get support from utilities wherever they can. However, if utilities is not able to help, then the cost for doing this task between 7 to 10 days would be roughly $1,500 per visit, meaning the cost to continue vacuuming and hauling the flow for the 3 months could be close to $20,000 alone. Such cost makes it unsustainable, especially during active wildfire season, when the fire hall is operating at increased capacity with added 4% team, students, and volunteers. Sanitary flow volumes are rising and further stressing an already compromised system. In addition to operational and maintenance concerns, the alignment of the existing service line is problematic as it crosses private property where the town holds no utility easement. Any future development on their property could lead to forced removal of the existing line. The proposed solution is to install a new 2-inch sanitary line along fire hall property and connect it directly to a town-owned manhole located on a future road allowance reserve. The new alignment remains entirely on town land and complies with current standards and offers improved accessibility for cleaning and maintenance. And the layout of existing alignment and the new proposed alignment is shown in attachment 1. The options for consideration is to proceed with replacement, which is one of our recommended option. And this option includes 2-inch line running along fire hall property to accessible manhole, and would address current failures while improving service reliability and reducing operating costs. The line install is estimated between $26,000 and $30,000. This option also completely eliminates the additional cost required for hauling the sanitary water, making it most feasible option. Second option is to not replace. This option includes continuing temporary pumping operations with risk of ongoing service disruptions and escalating cost. And then the last option is we further delay the process and investigate further. This option includes continuing efforts to diagnose whole line without any guarantee of resolving the issue at sustainable cost. The estimated capital cost for the new proposed line can be covered using capital building reserve, which has an opening balance of $1.2 million. The proposed work would bring the sanitary service into compliance with town standards for sizing and alignment. It also mitigates legal and infrastructure risk associated with utility lines on private property without easements. Administration recommends that council approve the replacement of fire hall sanitary line with a 2-inch line to be routed along town-owned property and connected to the existing town manhole located within the future road allowance at the west end of 6th Ave Northwest, with a maximum project budget of 30,000 before GST.
Okay. Counselor Adams?
Does this fall under under the capital expenditure heading, not operational?
That is what I found out from Director of Finance. It will be considered as a capital expenditure.
Okay. How does it work for the MD on that? Is that part of their existing contribution on the capital side with depreciation, or is this totally our expense?
So all of the agreement covers operating, and they do, part of the agreement, there's a small portion that goes to capital, but they do pay in that agreement, some monies towards the upgrade of the fire hall. So we could look at where that comes from, but no, they don't pay on the capital of any of the equipment. So it would be strictly from the town side.
Also, since the line is running on our road to the, it's not the connection from the fire hall to our line, it's our line along the road. Am I right in that?
Yes, so at the end, the tail end of 6th Ave Northwest, that is our manhole and that is our own future road allowance. So it will be tied to that manhole.
Okay. Counselor Adams?
Sorry, just for clarification, because I'm misunderstanding, I guess, when I read this. So this isn't the fire hall's line. This is the town of Slave Lake's line.
No, it is servicing fire hall.
No, but he's asking, is
Who's
it the fire
property
hall's
is it?
connection? So imagine the fire hall was a private business.
Yeah.
Is it the businesses? Would it be their connection to our line on the road, or is it our line?
No, it would be like whoever owns the lot, right?
It's the law. Okay,
Yeah,
it is the
yeah.
fire hall line.
Thank you.
Okay. That clarified a couple things there. Counselor Hughes?
Okay. Well, it sounds like, in my opinion, it's an issue that definitely needs to be fixed, and we would be spending more than that in 1 year just with getting trucks in and whatnot. So I'm ready to make a motion. I move that council approves administration's request to replace the existing fire hall sanitary line as per the proposed plan and allocate a budget of $30,000 from the capital building reserve.
Motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Call to question those in favor, and that is carried. Thanks, Krish.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up with our very lengthy report. Joanna.
300.
I'm not going to read the 300 pages of the bylaw to you guys.
Please don't read it verbatim.
Good evening, your worship and members of council. So the purpose of this report is to present the Town of Slave Lake Municipal Development Plan Bylaw 14/2025 and the Town of Slave Lake Land Use Bylaw 15/2025 for first readings and to schedule the required public hearing. All municipalities in Alberta are required by the Municipal Government Act to have a municipal development plan and a land use bylaw. The municipal development plan fulfills the statutory requirement of the act that each council of a municipality with a population of 3,500 or more must by bylaw adopt a municipal development plan. The purpose of the MDP is not only to fulfill that statutory requirement, but also to express the aspirations of the council and citizens of the town of Slave Lake with respect to long-term development and sustainability of their community. The MDP affirms the land use and development goals, objectives, and policies that are intended to guide the future actions and decisions of the council and administration of the town of Slave Lake, and sets forth a policy and regulatory framework for both public and private land use and development within the town. In addition to providing a means of coordinating municipal infrastructure, operations, and management of the town, the MDP establishes a long-term direction toward the achievement of sustainable development within the community. A land use bylaw establishes rules and standards for land use within each district, as well as the process for the development of land and buildings within the town of Slave Lake and to achieve the orderly and economic development of land. Furthermore, the LUB outlines the process for applications regarding land use and development within the town of Slave Lake. Having these standards contributes to healthy, safe, and functional and appealing communities and ensures that location and forms of physical development within the community are compatible with each other. In the fall of 2023, the town of Slave Lake issued a request for proposal to secure professional consulting services for a comprehensive rewrite of the municipal development plan and the land use bylaw. Through a competitive selection process, the town engaged Green Space Alliance to lead the project alongside the Planning and Development Department. The MDP and LUB redesign project was structured into several key phases to ensure a thorough and inclusive approach. Phase 1 was a background review focusing on developing a public engagement and consultation plan and establishing 2 advisory committees, the Technical Advisory Committee, or the TAC, and the Planning Advisory Committee, or PAC. In Phase 2, joint preliminary consultation, the project was introduced to the public and the first round of engagement took place. This included committee workshops and a community survey and a public open house. These efforts helped identify the key land use themes and community priorities that would guide the remainder of the project. The feedback gathered during this phase was summarized in a What We Heard report, which was made available on the project website at engagesslavelake.ca. Phase 3 focused on the municipal development plan, and a draft of the MDP was prepared and reviewed by both committees and key stakeholders. A second open house was held to present the draft to the public and gather additional input. And feedback received during this phase was incorporated into a second MDP draft, and a summary report was shared online. In Phase 4, work shifted to the land use bylaw. A draft of the LUB was developed and circulated for review, incorporating feedback gathered in earlier phases. It was presented to the public during a dedicated open house with major proposed changes highlighted. This round of engagement was documented in a final What We Heard report, and the community input was reflected in revisions to the draft. The MDP and LUB were circulated to Sawridge First Nation, Municipal District Lesser Slave River, High Prairie School Division, Living Waters Catholic Separate School Division, and the Slave Lake Christian Academy for review and input, as well as the mentioned stakeholder reviews. Both draft documents received a comprehensive legal review by Brownlee LLP. The project is now in its final phase, Phase 5, finalization and approval. This stage includes presenting the draft MDP and LUB to council for first reading, followed by a schedule of a public hearing to allow for formal public input before the bylaws proceed to second and third readings. At each stage of drafting, input received through engagement activities was used to refine and improve the documents. This process has been designed to ensure the final documents reflect the community's vision, values, and evolving needs. The MDP sets out long-term vision for the town's growth and development. It identifies where future residential, commercial, recreational, and community service areas will be located, while also including policies that guide infrastructure planning, transportation networks, and environmental protection. As mandated by the Municipal Government Act, all municipalities in Alberta are required to adopt an MDP. The land use bylaw is a vital planning tool used by the town to manage land use and the development of buildings within its boundaries. It plays a key role in implementing the goals and policies outlined in other municipal planning documents, such as area structure plans and the MDP. The LUB provides clarity and certainty for residents, businesses, and visitors about the types and forms of development permitted in various areas of the community. Like the MDP, having a land use bylaw is a requirement under the MGA for all Alberta municipalities. To support sound planning practices, both MDP and LUB should be regularly reviewed and updated to respond to emerging trends, new development types, and the changing needs of the municipality. The last full rewrite of these documents occurred in 2007, and since then they have been amended more than 180 times, 22 amendments to the MDP and 160 to the LUB, highlighting the need for this comprehensive update. The current updates to the MDP and LUB are the result of extensive collaboration between administration, town council, external stakeholders, and the public. The revisions aim to improve clarity, streamline regulatory processes, accommodate modern development forms, and incorporate community input. For a detailed overview of the proposed changes, you can refer to the attachments of the changes of the municipal development plan and changes to the land use bylaw. So options are you could defeat bylaw 14, 2025 and bylaw 15, 2025, or you could give first reading to bylaw 14, 2025 and bylaw 15, 2025, and schedule the required public hearings. Some policy implications. The MDP and land use bylaw were drafted concurrently, ensuring that alignment of regulations with the overall vision of the town's future was maintained between the documents. Area structure plans were considered when drafting the municipal development plan and land use bylaw to ensure the future land use plans align with these plans and vice versa. Administration consulted other departments throughout this project to ensure the MDP would support any policies or master plans within their departments regarding future development of services. And as stated above, the new MDP and land use bylaw are directly supported by statements within the Town of Slave Lake strategic plan regarding economic health, livability, and relationships and partnerships. Notice of a public hearing would be advertised through multiple channels to ensure broad community awareness. This includes publication on the Town of Slave Lake's website, social media platforms, and digital signage. Additionally, the notice will appear in the local newspaper and will be included in the July utility bill distribution. Our recommendation is for council to give both bylaws first reading and to schedule the required public hearings for July 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Any questions?
Councillor Adams.
I move to give Town of Slave Lake Municipal Development Plan Bylaw 14-2025 first reading and schedule the required public hearing for July 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Call to questions in favor. And that is carried. Councillor Achoba.
I move to give Town of Slave Lake Land Use Bylaw number 15-2025 first reading and schedule the required public hearing for July 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Motion on the floor. Any further discussion? Call to questions in favor. And that is carried. You go ahead, Councillor Hughes.
I just have a brief question. When we're putting this out to the public for this, is there a way, I just really want to highlight the importance of it one last time, if possible. Do you have any creative ideas on how we can pick out, you know, the hot topics within it and just kind of present it as such, like, hey, you know, take a look at this. We're doing the first reading on this. This is really important because X, Y, Z, but just keep it a little bit more basic, I guess, so that they really understand how crucial this document is,
We'll do
right?
some graphic advertisements up that have just like catchphrases or something in them to put
Okay,
out to the
okay.
public.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be like MDP, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want it to grab people, hopefully, one last time.
Have your
just
say
to-
about this.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Okay, I just wanted to kind of say, you know, hopefully we can have a creative idea with that and go from there.
Sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Look forward to reading the 300-page report. All right, moving along into question period. Is there anything for administration? Okay. And anything for state of, oh, Counselor.
I would just, sorry, I'd like to follow up on the question from earlier on the fire services. So the MD does not pay on the current agreement on capital. However, they do have $60,000 in the agreement that goes towards the upkeep of the building. So it has been moved into capital reserve in the past, so that they would be supporting this as they support the fire service, they'd be supporting this repair through that.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update. Okay, there's nothing further for question period. Anything for state of the lake? It is a, Councillor Hughes?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind the community that obviously the town of Slave Lake will be hosting Canada Day festivities at the MRC. And now I lost the time. That was right in front of me. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. At the MRC, and it will be closed for drop-ins just for the special event that's taking place. So it's in the track and field house, and yeah, come out and enjoy Canada Day with residents of Slave Lake.
Okay, with that, Councillor Achoba,
Motion to adjourn.
any further discussion? All the questions in favor, and that is carried.